No. No. No, no, no. Yes.
How did you get that? I got stuck with the Chev, bro.
Well, did you look at all your options? This is the 2025 Honda Civic Sport Touring Hybrid Hatchback.
Welcome to the driver's line. I'm Greg.
And I'm Jordan.
And today we're in the Honda Civic Sport Touring Hybrid Hatchback.
Yeah, it is a word salad, let me tell you. But there's a lot of descriptors there for a reason, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is Honda's resurgence in this market back into hybrid territory. You know, in the previous gen, there was not one. But, you know, here we are. And I think they did, honestly, a pretty good job with this one.
They have done an outstanding job.
Yeah.
You know, first off, 2025 is the first year of the slight revision to the design.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a little bit of a refresh, a little bit of small changes. But I think they all actually work really, really well. You know, the previous generation kind of had like a weird bulge on the nose.
Yeah.
Gone completely on this one. So it's a nice, clean look. It levels up with the headlights and just gives you a really happy face on this car.
Yeah, I mean, from every angle, there's not really like an angle on this car and I'm like, oh, I really can't look at it. It just keeps it clean. And a lot of the features on the outside are pretty understated, but it still kind of feels sophisticated to me. Like, even when you compare it like with a Mazda 3, like in a similar class, it holds its own.
Yeah. Is Boost Blue understated?
The color is not so much, but I'm saying the styling. I do appreciate this Boost Blue, though.
I love this Boost Blue.
Yeah.
This color is phenomenal.
It's fun.
It's fun. It fits the ethos of the car. It's not gray or beige or black or white.
Thank goodness.
Which, unfortunately, are pretty much the rest of the colors that Honda offers on this Civic. But, you know, you can choose a nice red. They've got the Rally Red or Boost Blue. Boost Blue is only a $455 option, so kudos to Honda for keeping at least their paint options relatively cheap, looking at you, Porsche. But, you know, it's a nice option, I think, and it looks really nice.
Yeah, I think that in addition to that Boost Blue, especially on this color, the slight amount of matte black finishes that you see just along the side of the car, along the back, front, it's tastefully done. It doesn't feel cheap to me. I also appreciate that they're not doing shiny black piano plastic on the outside. I don't understand why car makers do this. It's going to get ruined immediately.
It's your favorite thing. Give me more shiny black plastic.
So I do appreciate that because it does kind of lessen the height of the car a little bit.
It's a very visually low car.
Yeah.
It does a really nice job because I was looking at some of the other competitors to it, and they all look like tall and squat.
That speaks to the exterior of this car. I mean, it's wide. It's low and wide, which I think really gives it that sporty look. And, you know, when you think of a hybrid, really it's efficiency, right? Efficiency first. But this has so many attributes that give it that sporty feel on the outside, too. I know that you can get a spoiler with this if you wanted to.
I think it needs it.
Yeah.
It needs something because if you look at this compared to the Type R, obviously that's a big change. I get that.
Yes.
But this feels like it's missing something on the back end. Just to level off that design.
It does feel kind of, when you're looking at the weight of the car, like visually, there's a lot of mass in the front compared to the back. I think, I mean, the long hood does look nice. It gives it that sporty feel. But I think you're right. It does cut off really quickly, especially when you have that sloping roof line in the back. It's nice, but yeah, I feel like it could use a little boost there.
It really could.
Who knows? Maybe like a little additional sport package added to it.
There you go.
That would be nice.
The sport hybrid sport.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've had this for a week at this point.
Yeah.
What do you think about the interior?
It's a really comfortable place to be, and it's just driving to work every day, and it's been such like a comforting experience, and understanding that this is not a premium car at all, but the interior materials just feel a step or two above, honestly, where a lot of the competitors are playing in this price point. Not to mention, a lot of the choices that are made, like in terms of this, are really, really smart. Like the single wide vents here that run across, it just keeps it clean, and that seems to be a theme with this car.
It is, and I absolutely love that design, the honeycomb pattern they have here on the vents. It's really, really nice and clean. It looks nice. It feels nice. I mean, they've made a lot of really nice choices.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I kind of have a slight shame with is there's only 2 colors for this leather interior.
Yeah,
it's only black or gray.
Yeah.
I think gray is definitely the one to go with because it kind of breaks up that sea of black. But I mean, I have very few gripes with this interior because it feels very high quality. Everything feels really well put together, and it's just such a useful package.
Yeah, I mean, and it's done so in a mindful way. I mean, everything here in terms of material selection, I think, is done to not only feel elevated, but it's going to hold up, right? So, for instance, the center console here, it's not done in piano black like every single other automaker on the planet, right? This cool textured material here, it's going to last.
It's not going to show fingerprints.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a simple choice.
Yes.
But, Honda made it. They decided to do that instead of hitting that same button that everybody else hits and says, oh, we're just going to do that with piano black. Let's put some shiny black plastic there.
Speaking of buttons, switchgear, knobs. We have knobs in this thing.
Yep.
And I think a lot of automakers have kind of seen the light with that, and they're starting to shift back to this. But Honda was here from the beginning when this gen first launched. And they haven't really stepped away from it, honestly. Honda's always been known for excellent ergonomics on their interiors, and this does not disappoint. The hybrid comes with that automatic climate control, which is wonderful. It's been doing a fantastic job. Haven't had any complaints with the AC or anything like that inside. Not to mention the buttons themselves. When you click them, they have a nice, satisfying feel to them. It just plays into that elevated feeling that you have in this car.
Now, the only thing that doesn't feel great are the knobs for the climate control. Little cheap plastic there.
Yeah, it's true. They kind of give you like a metal look at first.
And I think that might be part of the problem is because it tricks your mind because they look really nice, but they feel less nice.
Yeah.
Again, we're on the Civic, right? I mean, we can't be picky. We can't be expecting like something that's CNC'd out of aluminum like you get in like a Bugatti Chiron.
Right.
It doesn't happen here.
Yeah. But I mean, there is one knob that feels really nice, and that is the volume knob on this radio. It has a nice amount of feedback for it, and it's something that Honda kind of got rid of way back, and I think they faced a lot of criticism for it.
Yes.
So now it is back. And if you go with a lower-end model, not necessarily in a hybrid, but other specs, you get the much smaller screen. I mean, the bevel is still the same size, but you get 2 knobs if you like knobs. This also comes with wireless charging, which is, it's technology. So there you go. You want to complain about something, but it's there. It works well all the time. And it works well with the wireless CarPlay and Android Auto that's in here. Along with, we have Google Maps and Google integration built in. Now, you do need the wireless capability that this car offers. When you purchase one, you get 3 years of it standard. It comes with it, right? But after that, you have to subscribe to it. And we don't really know how much that's going to be. I don't think Honda does either yet. Just waiting for that 3-year mark period to go by and see what they can charge, I guess. But I'm not sure that you really need it, to be honest with you. If you have CarPlay,
right?
Why not,
exactly.
Right?
I mean, that's the beauty of CarPlay and Android Auto is your phone is the device. It's what gets updated. It's what kind of makes all of that function.
Yeah.
And this is just the form factor.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously, hatchback. Hatchbacks are phenomenal. Not enough people make hatchbacks right now. Because they're just so extremely useful without having to get a CUV.
Exactly. I mean, this car has a ton of storage. We actually took it to Lowe's the other day to pick up some mulch. 20 bags fit in this sucker, and I'm pretty sure that the employees are looking at me like, what is he doing? But we made it fit. We made it work. And
it's not going in a truck, friends. It is going in a Honda Civic, a sport touring hybrid hatchback.
You don't need a truck for it, right? But what I also really like about this particular hatch is you don't lose really anything in styling either. I mean, it looks great on the outside, but it also has that immense storage capability, 46.2 cubic feet when the seats are folded down.
Yep.
And still with the seats folded up in the back, you're looking at just over 24 cubic feet or so.
Yeah.
So that's a great size.
It's a phenomenal size. I mean, you just have so much space. It makes it so useful. And this is actually shorter in overall length than the sedan.
Yeah.
But you get all that extra space.
Yeah. All right, Greg. Well, I mean, you've been driving this. How do you feel about the performance of it?
It's not bad.
No.
I mean, it's genuinely not bad. You know, one of the sort of kind of odd comparisons a lot of people have done is comparing this to the Civic Si, which is Honda's like mildly warm hatch, right? Like it's not a hot hatch, that's a Type R, but this SI is kind of like, has always been the sweet spot, right? And so now you have this, we have the same horsepower as the Civic Si with 200 horsepower. We have more torque because we have 232 pound-feet out of this hybrid drivetrain. The SI only comes with 192 pound-feet.
Yeah, it's a weird place for this hybrid to be. Like, everybody thinks of hybrids as just being, you know, hey, they're fuel misers, and you're still getting that. I mean, this gives you great fuel mileage, but
I've been driving this thing roughly, and it's gone up from 48 to 49 miles per gallon.
I feel like we're seeing a trend with these EV-based cars. Not one that we necessarily need to encourage, but that's okay. But yeah, I mean, off the line, the power of that electric motor, I mean, that's the beauty of a hybrid, right? It's kind of giving you best of both worlds. But it does not feel like disjointed at all because of the way that this hybrid system is designed.
You know, one of the kind of the cool things about this is that it actually can go 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds. Which we're finding out right now.
Greg loves to brake boost.
We run out of steam towards the top end, right? So that's going to be where the EV obviously is starting to wind down. It's going to start filtering in a little bit more of the power from the internal combustion engine. But it's faster than the Civic Si 0 to 60. This is 6.3 seconds. That is closer to 6.8 seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, when you compare it to the base model, it's like 3 seconds faster to 60, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, you're basically getting the performance of an SI with significantly good fuel economy.
Right.
I mean, it's a win-win.
It is a massive win-win. I mean, you've got, what is about 200 or 300 more pounds that you're kind of lugging around. That's like 2,900. This is about 3,200. So that is something that you do feel a little bit, but it's not overly pronounced. I mean, they do a really nice job damping the suspension. The suspension tuning here is great. It's nice and quiet. It's really good. I mean, it's really hard to find a lot of fault in this vehicle.
I completely agree.
Kind of continuing along with the handling discussion, they've actually equipped this vehicle with 18-inch wheels and tires, and they're 235s. That's actually a pretty thick tire.
It is. This is like basically the same spec as my GTI that I owned, actually. So when I was looking at the specs on the tires, I'm like, wait a minute, I know these numbers right off the bat. It's really incredible when you compare it to its competitors. It's such a much wider tire, and that really gives you a great handling experience in this car. It feels so sure-footed.
It does. It gives you 0.86 Gs of lateral acceleration. I mean, that is impressive and something that's supposed to. I mean, normally when you have a hybrid, normally when you have an EV, it's low rolling resistance tires, and these are those, mind you, but they're 235s. Usually, like, look at the Mustang Mach-E. Skinniest wheels I've ever seen, or skinniest wheels and tires I've ever seen on a car.
Yeah. And I mean, along with that, it can handle well, but it can also brake well. I mean, 113 feet. I mean, that's a pretty decent number, especially when you can consider the brake pedal feel on this is also so natural. Like, you don't get any of that. Like, it does regenerate, right? It has regenerative braking, but it also has that standard hydraulic system. So, but you don't feel any of that blending happening. It does a great job.
It does a really nice job. And you also have the fun little auto hold feature. When you come to a complete stop, you can press the button and use it, or if you don't like it, then you can turn it off.
Exactly.
Easy peasy.
Exactly. And then you also have, in terms of performance, a couple of drive modes. You have Econ mode if you're really worrying about fuel economy in that moment. And a lot of these really, it's just changing the damping settings within the accelerator, and how the engine turns on, how quickly it turns on, how frequently it turns on. But you do have that Econ mode if you want to do that. You have normal, which is going to be kind of that blended experience, not too fuel misery, but not too sporty, which is your sport option. That's also in there, which Greg... Greg is not in right now.
I'm driving Econ, baby. Or Hypermind. That's why my fuel economy went up.
But he has been driving in sport too. I was driving
back to sport
I was
mode.
driving in sport basically the entire time I had it. But it's actually like very fun and engaging. Once you have it on sport, I mean, it picks up right exactly what you want to do.
That's nice.
And then you also have an individual mode, which allows you to go in there and customize your steering feel, your acceleration feel. It actually even lets you pipe in some engine noise, which I think was interesting.
Pipe in your engine noise for your simulated shifts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking to that, the simulated shifting is actually really interesting in this because it has not a traditional transmission. I mean, they call it an ECVT, but that's even, I would say that that's not even really accurate.
No, it's not accurate because it doesn't really have a transmission.
Yeah.
It's a very unique setup.
So have you fallen asleep from driving a hybrid yet?
No, it's actually a pretty engaging drive. So why don't we find a place to pull off and let you get behind the wheel?
Sounds good. All right, my turn.
My turn. As if you haven't had it all week already.
1 week's not enough. Well, now that you're prisoner in a passenger seat, I get to talk to you about the hybrid system.
What?
Yes, you're going to get a little lesson. First of all, did you know that the battery in this is only 1.1 kilowatts? It's crazy. It's so small. It's like 70 times smaller than the Tesla that we drove last week. I mean, but it delivers all its energy. Most of the majority of the acceleration that's happening here is done by the electric motor, the 81 horsepower motor. So that's going to be driving it, but as it's using more and more battery power, the engine's going to come on and charge it. So that's really a majority of its role is just a generator. So sometimes, on occasion, it's going to kick in with the electric battery, and that's to give you even more acceleration. But it really setup, it's shared with the Honda Accord and the CR-V. It's the same setup. It puts out a little bit different horsepower numbers. Are you paying attention?
Huh? Oh, I saw a kitty cat outside.
Kind of blending the two.
What?
This one is really kind of a different setup. Almost like if you think about way back when the Chevy Volt that was around, it was a plug-in hybrid, but a lot of the times it just operated on that electric motor. But when it ran out of electric juice in its battery, the engine came on to charge it. So that's really kind of a cool thing. This is really neat is because it's the electric motor that's doing the driving. When the gas engine needs to come on, it just comes on to blend in that power to charge the battery. And Greg, pay attention.
God.
This is really important. You also want to test the brakes. But what's really, really cool about this, though, is that you can program this engine to sound like it's actually shifting, which is crazy. So, I think it drives great.
That was a great summary. It drives great. I agree.
You missed all of that, didn't you?
No, yada, 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 CVT, yada, yada, hybrid, yada, yada, 1.1 kilowatt hour battery, yada, yada, not really a transmission. Yada, yada, the engine can also somehow connect to it via some magic. Yada, yada.
Yes. I mean, that is important. I mean,
Yeah.
the engine and the motor can drive connected with a clutch. It kicks in. And have you felt it kick in while you've been driving it? No.
No,
it's
actually,
seamless.
It is actually very seamless.
Yeah.
I mean, have to give it a lot of credit in that regard. It's seamless when the engine cuts on. It's seamless when the engine disengages. Really, the only notification you get is the slight sound of the ICE engine kicking in and out, and then the little EV light coming on the dashboard.
Exactly. I mean, the most exciting part about this car is that hybrid system, isn't it?
I think it's the Boost Blue.
Yes. It's pretty color. It's pretty color, Greg.
Yeah. So, with Jordan's slightly detailed explanation of the hybrid system,
It deserves it.
Yes. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about fuel economy and range. This car has phenomenal fuel economy. I've actively tried to destroy it when I was driving it, and it just keeps going up.
Yeah, we're approaching 50 miles a gallon.
We're approaching 50 miles per gallon. We were in sport mode, friends, and we're approaching 50 miles per gallon. But this car gets 50 miles in the city, 45 on the highway for a combined average of 48 miles per gallon.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not that much worse when you're looking at a comparable Prius. We're not talking about the base one with the tiny wheels, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going apples to apples here, you're only losing like 5 or so miles a gallon at most.
At most.
And when you're talking about like real life driving, that's nothing. Like that's negligible.
It is. And for everything else that this offers, I think it makes it a really, really compelling choice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially considering how much better it drives. I hate to say that, but it does. And it looks.
It doesn't look bad. It looks a lot better than previous Priuses.
Oh, no, it does. Don't get me wrong, but I think this looks better.
Oh, by far.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's worth. Are you going to spend the extra money looking at a car that you really love? I mean, if you like the Prius too, that's fine. But I think this is a more universally, attractive car.
It is. It really is. And with that fuel economy comes a massive amount of range. 595 miles EPA rated range on this thing, which is just unbelievable. You can almost go 600 miles cruising in this car.
That's insane.
It is insane.
It's all like diesel-like fuel economy.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and kick off our newest segment here on our car reviews. And so we're going to call it Would You Rather? And so we're going to do kind of a rapid-fire, quick 3 competitors for this Honda Civic here and say which one would you rather have. So
sounds good.
We're going to start off with a competitor, and it is the Mazda 3 Turbo. Which would you rather have?
Ooh, that's tough. I've driven a Mazda 3. I really love it. I think I'm going with this one, though.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it drives really well. Maybe not quite as well as the Mazda, but the fuel economy is out of control with this.
The fuel economy is fantastic. So, I'm in a unique position where I don't really have to drive. So I'm going to go with the Mazda 3 Turbo just because of that performance and the wonderful Mazda handling. Not to say that this is bad, but the Honda just is another level.
Fair enough.
All right, second up, probably the most direct competitor here, the Toyota Prius.
Ooh, the Toyota Prius. I gotta say I'm going with this. It's not a super hard decision for me.
No, that's a pretty straightforward decision. The Prius is, really good. It's the OG from the hybrid standpoint, but this is something a little bit more compelling, I think, for us. It looks better. It's got a little bit, it's got a lot of space, got a lot of utility. Yeah. We don't really need the all-wheel drive that the Prius comes with, so I think this is an easy answer for us.
Yeah, it's definitely a much more livable everyday car, and it'll last the test of time, I think, styling-wise, too.
And no hashtag.
No hashtag.
No hashtags. All right, and last up, we're going to go with a little home-brewed rivalry here.
Ooh.
So the Civic Si.
Ooh, okay. Even though I love performance, I gotta go with this again. This is like a three-peat for me. But hey, it's got more power and it's got better fuel economy, so I can't turn it down.
Right. Well, I can't either, honestly, because it gives you almost everything that the Civic Si gives you. It also gives you all that utility with the hatchback that you don't get with the Si. Yeah. The only thing that we're missing is that manual transmission.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is a bummer, but I think I would have this.
Yep. And with our game of Would You Rather complete, it was time to find somewhere to pull off and discuss our final thoughts. All right, Greg. So, what'd you think about the Honda Civic Sport Touring Hybrid Hatchback?
Well said. Long name, great car.
Yeah.
This is actually a wonderful, wonderful daily driver. Gives you a lot of Honda's great build quality, gives you that awesome hybrid system, and it's a fuel sipper, so it gets you around town in comfort and quality.
Yeah, it has a lot of great positives to it, well balanced, but we did come across some negatives about this car, right?
Yeah, the first one is the elephant in the room, and that's the price. Yeah. So $34,300 for the top Sport Touring trim, and then ours added, of course, on top of that, this beautiful Boost Blue for $455.
Yeah, that's a head turner, but it's definitely, an additional cost there. I think we both think it's worth it.
Worth it,
but it is pretty pricey when you think about all that stuff. Yep. Considering the price, though, the backseat appointments we also kind of looked at. It's pretty basic back there. There's no AC back there, no vents, also no chargers. So that could be kind of a downside for some
So if you got
people.
kids, they're not going to be able to plug in their devices very easily. So that's a little bit of a detraction. Yeah. They're going to be winding that cord all the way up to the front with you, which is not going to be great.
No, it could get a little annoying.
Yeah, a little bit. One other thing that we didn't really like is the fact that it doesn't offer all-wheel drive. So a lot of the competitors at this price point, namely the Toyota Prius, also do offer all-wheel drive as an option.
Yeah, and just within Honda's own stable, the CR-V hybrid has the same powertrain, just without the all-wheel drive. So it's something that could probably be easily adaptable to this particular vehicle, especially since there is space in the back for that hardware. certainly something I think Honda should look at to open up its market segment with this.
Exactly, because they're missing out basically on the Northeast market, and that's understandable. But they're probably like, buy a CRV.
Yeah, I mean, these are kind of things to look forward to in the future. But for right now, this car is such a fantastic overall package.
It really is. It really is just an outstanding package. And one of the things that we absolutely love about it is the fact that it is really a king fuel sipper. This thing gets 50 miles per gallon in the city. We have been driving it vigorously, as we do with most cars, and we keep seeing the mileage go up. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't, but it's doing it. And I mean, on top of that, something that doesn't make sense, this car has almost 600 miles of range. I mean, that is insane when you think about it.
It is.
How little you'd actually be filling this up with fuel, depending on your daily rotation. And I mean, to cause all that, it's because of that fantastic hybrid powertrain it has. This is such a unique setup compared to other hybrid vehicles because it's primarily driven by that electric motor, not by the gas and electric together for most of the time. So because of that...
Enough. If they want to hear about the hybrid system, they can rewind. Okay? We don't need to go through all that again.
It's really cool.
It is very cool. So if you want to hear about it again, feel free to rewind.
Fine.
Now we need to talk about something more important. Performance.
Oh my God.
200 horsepower, 232 pound-feet. Same amount of horsepower as Civic Si, which is touted as the warm, not hot, but warm Civic. More torque. Faster 0 to 60. 6.3 seconds.
Yes, it is faster, Greg. Very good. So, what's cool about that is it's giving you that really great fuel mileage. Almost similar to its competitors, just slightly less, but it's giving you way more performance.
You get way more performance, and you get that Honda handling.
Yeah.
Honda makes wonderfully nimble cars, and you get every ounce of that here, just like you do in the Si. So, this actually might be the better Si.
Well, on that fantastic revelation, it's time to end.
Thank you so much for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us on The Driver's Line. Hit that like button to subscribe for more car reviews, specials, and podcasts.
A special shout out to our partner Drive Shop for fleet management, keeping us fueled up and on the road, enabling us to keep bringing great content to you.